Welcome back to the Good, the Bad and the Ugly podcast with me, Tony Murrell. This week's special guest is the Grumpy Northern Foodie, a man who's carved out a full-time career from telling the truth about food and pulling no punches along the way. From his early days working crazy hours in hospitality to becoming one of the most outspoken food creators online, the biggest crimes people commit when making a northern meal, and what it's been like transitioning into content creation full-time. Thanks for listening and watching this episode.
I woke up and I'm just like, hang on a minute, what's going on here? Why have I got this many notifications flicking through? And then you realize somebody trolling, all you're doing is lining other people's pockets with money. People ask, what's your job? Content creator. And they go, what? The best comments I get all the time on my videos, go get a job.
Welcome to the Good, the Bad and the Ugly podcast with me, Tony Murrell, and this week's special guest is Stu Snowden, the Grumpy Northern Foodie. How are we, mate?
I'm good, mate. Good, thanks.
Really looking forward to sharing the Good, the Bad and the Ugly.
Excellent.
Listen, you're local. You know what? It's mad because I've come across your videos and stuff, and I've just been saying to you before, I always show my wife, and I always say, have you seen this fella here doing these? She always says to me, why don't you do it? And then I found out you're from Runcorn, from where we're from, so I thought, I've got to get you on.
Excellent.
Thank you very much for coming on, mate.
No,
It's just mad, you know, how it's all blew up for you and stuff. And
absolutely.
I'm absolutely made up for you to see someone local, or I'd like to see anyone do well, but someone who's local and you're passionate about what you do. So, look, we're going to get into it. So, I just want to start from where you're from. Where you grew up, school life and family life was like?
Well, easy going. I am from Runcorn. I have moved around the country a lot, so I've lived in lots of different places. But yeah, Runcorn lads. School, I went to Frodsham High School. So yeah, it's not there anymore, is it? It's now all the leisure centre. It's all been kind of shut off and done. So yeah, I went to Frodsham High School, tried uni for a bit after college, and then kind of dropped into like hospitality. So I ended up working in hospitality for a long time, 15 years after school. So kind of just, you know, front of house mainly, rather than being back of house. Wasn't cooking. And basically, that's kind of where I went from. And, you know, over 15 years, just learned lots of different things. So.
In the hospitality industry as well, I think you tend to, there's lots of things that you pick up on and stuff, you know, and like you say, front of house or in the back, or events and stuff like that. You know, did you enjoy doing all that?
Do you know what? If it wasn't for the long hours and all the stress that comes with it, I'd go back to it tomorrow, but it's really difficult to do when you've got a family. Yeah. So when you've got a family, you can't work. You can, but all the time. Juggling crazy hours, Saturday nights till 2, 3 in the morning all the time. So, but I absolutely love doing it, which is why I think it flows into what I'm doing with the content creation, because you are, in a sense, when you're in hospitality and you're front of house, you are on show, it's a theatre. It's all about how you present yourself and how you come across to any customers that are in there. You can almost go through the door, put a face on, like in a theatre. So doing the kind of content creation is a, you know, a little bit of a nod towards it, where you can go straight behind the camera and just be like, go. And like that. So it's
and you enjoy doing that, yeah. Well, we're going to get into all that anyway, you know what I mean? But yeah, so like going from Frodsham High School to uni and then doing all your hospitality stuff, what did you get into from there?
So from hospitality, I started with it was more. Let me just think back on that one, actually, to be fair, thinking about it. So I started in Manchester in a restaurant down there part-time, just as a waiter while I was in university. I was studying hospitality management. Within that course, you get like a kind of, call it sandwich year, which is funny being in hospitality, but yeah. So you kind of go and do a placement for a year, hit the placement in a restaurant in Liverpool, and from there, I kind of just went, what am I doing? Why am I going back to uni here? Maybe looking back, and maybe I could have done, but I actually enjoy it, so let's do this full-time and crack on. With that company I was working for, they took me round the country. I went over to Lincoln for a few months to work there. I worked in Manchester, and eventually I shipped down to London. Obviously the centre of hospitality 10, 15, 20 years ago, still is now really. Yeah. But, you know, I think a lot of the other cities are really catching up with what they do. So moved down there. As soon as I walked through the door, as soon as I got off the train with literally a bag, going to stay in a bedsit to just go there for a few months, I was like, I'm not leaving here. I'm staying in London. I'm staying here. This is where you need to be. The bright lights of London. Exactly. So, and then stayed there for 10, 12 years. I lived down in London.
What was it like in London? You know, like obviously the night, like when you wasn't working and stuff, is just
great. Because obviously in hospitality, you all know each other. So you all know this place, that place. Let's go here. We'll get in there. Go on. Can you get us in? Yeah, off you go. Off to like Whiskey Miss nightclub and stuff like that one. It was honestly, when you finish at 2 in the morning, down in Mayfair, you're in a taxi at 4 in the morning after a few, whatever you want to do, a few beers, a few spirits in that one, and you're going past Buckingham Palace, the taxi, half baked, you know, you're looking at it going, this is the weirdest thing ever. But it was great fun, you know, but it gets to a point where you just go, you can't afford a house. unless you...
Unless you've got money behind you and stuff, yeah.
10 years ago, the flat I was renting, it was costing me like 1,800 quid a month. And it was, you know, 1,800 quid a month. And it was probably double the size of this room, that's it, with a bathroom, 1 bedroom, living room. I had a little bit of a garden, which is great. You don't get that in London. But you're looking at it, you're going, to buy this, it was 500 grand then, that flat. And I'm like, by the time I've saved up enough money for a 50 grand deposit, it's going to be worth 700 grand. And it just took the decision and went, I need to go back up north, de-stress, declutter, sort out how am I going to do this, how am I going to build. You know, I was at that point, I was about 28, 29. Yeah. I was like, I could stay here and I could be in 10 years in the same position. So let's go and see what I can do something different.
So you obviously, from there, you're back home to where your roots and stuff.
And then, you know, when you're looking at what you could do, bought my first house in Runcorn, and it was 95 grand for a 2-bedroom semi-detached house with a huge garden. I was like, honestly, you know, when your mortgage is like 400 quid a month, you're like, hang on a minute, what am I going to do with all this money? Yeah. So, you know, we just kind of went from there. And then, you know, once you kind of set roots somewhere, you don't leave. I had roots anyway, so picked up with some old friends, picked up with, you know, that kind of stuff. So ended up just enjoying it, especially.
And coming back to your roots, that's what it's, you know, people always say, don't they, you'd always know where your roots are and stuff, no matter, you know, people slag where they're from and stuff like that, but you know, I'm proud to be from Runcorn, you know, myself. It's one of them, people laugh and that, and they go, I always go, I'm proud to be from sunny Runny, that's what I say, you know what I mean?
What I find frustrating is Runcorn, there's a lot of amazing people in Runcorn, a lot of lovely people in Runcorn, a lot of people with big hearts and want to do better for themselves and that one. I think in the town, we don't get a lot of the things that happens. Some of it goes to Widnes. Widnes seems to have a lot. Warrington gets a lot. And in Runcorn, we seem to be left behind.
We get the little bits there.
Yeah, have a little bit of that. But you can have a cinema for a few years, but it's going because, you know, well, because we're not going to change it because Widnes has got one. It's and it's not bad about Widnes. It's over the bridge. But I think, you know, places like this can get lost and left behind. I'd love Runcorn to have some great food places. Not that there isn't amazing ones anyway, but even more, you know, down the old town, the whole street of like
kebab houses.
It is. It is. But let's turn them into like decent restaurants, places to go, something to do, and you know, and that's why I say I'm proud from Runcorn, because
there's a lot of good people. I mean, don't get me wrong. Any town, city, or whatever, you'll always get, you know, people, you know, will bring it down and whatever, but Runcorn is a good place. There's a lot of good people with good hearts, and what you've just said there about like Widnes, I've heard this so many times. Widnes gets more than Runcorn, and what, you know, the funding side of it, where you think, look, we've got a what's name estate there where you could, you know, a retail park where, you know, the cinema and stuff's been closed down. You know, there's certain things that we could put back into the town where, you know, like you say, you know, restaurants where Widnes, you know, the redevelopments of Widnes of what they're doing and all that. You want to see that in Runcorn and Warrington as well. Like, they're doing so much in Warrington, and we're all under the same. We're all under Halton, aren't we? Yeah. I don't think it's Warrington under Halton. I'm not too sure.
No, but I know, you know, previously, like maybe 15, 20 years ago, and I could be completely wrong, and somebody might say I'm wrong, but I'm sure there was a link between Runcorn and Warrington about the joint funding, and Warrington got a lot then, and got left behind.
But you can see it now in Warrington. You go, and it's a lovely place. Loads of lovely restaurants and stuff around.
I go out in Warrington. In fact, there is places to go in Runcorn, but you wouldn't.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I just, you know, from where I can jump on the train, I'm into Warrington for a night out, train back, quick taxi ride back. It's
but it'd be nice if it's in your own area. It's like it's a little taxi ride, you know what I mean, or it's a walking distance.
Exactly.
Whatever.
But you know, maybe doing a lot of the stuff I'm doing and getting the popularity around it can bring some things back. Maybe eventually I could open something myself, and that's something that's
it's a dream, isn't it?
It's not on the horizon yet, but you know, we can do things like that, and you know, the more nice things that pop up in Runcorn, the more others will pop up, and people can enjoy it more and things like that.
Well, that's what I'm going to get onto, is because obviously you've moved back up here, and you know, you've done you bought your house and stuff like that, and you've generally worked and stuff like that. You've always been in, you know, full-time employment, so you're working full-time, and and then obviously, you know, the food creating come about and stuff like that. How did, like, you know, the food content creator, the Grumpy Northern Foodie, come about? Your socials have gone ballistic. Like, I think you've got about 600,000 followers across Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Yeah. That's some going, that's some following. Now, people are obviously interested. Yeah. How did it come about?
The name Grumpy Northern Foodie was my Instagram handle for years, way before, when I had it down in London. It was just because was northern in London, and people, don't quite always get it. But but it never really went anywhere. They never
You say the Southerners are a bit more what's the name? Where it's up north, it's a bit like we've got a bit of what's the name about comical or whatever. Not saying there's not the Southerners are not funny or whatever, but us Northerners, I think.
Exactly. They don't like you saying hello to them in the street and that kind of stuff, all that kind of stuff. But we and then just kind of, it was just playing around with it. So, coming outside of COVID, obviously TikTok went bizarre. Everybody was doing it at home, dancing on TikTok, doing all sorts. There was some of the ones on there. I think Bella Porch, her name is. She did one video of 30 seconds, and she's multi-millionaire now. So everybody was
blew up.
Yeah, everybody was hammering it. Everybody was really going for it. And
this was all in COVID, was it?
Yeah, it was in COVID, that part. And I was watching what was going on. I saw some bits, tried a few bits. You sat in your house bored and stuff like that. In
Arguing
COVID.
with the missus over putting a plate in the sink too loud or whatever.
Exactly. So it just kind of got to a point where I was like, try a few bits, but it wasn't food content then. It was just messing around. Kind of just left it for a bit, and then, started to. I met my wife, she's my wife now, through COVID. We did like Zoom calls, to Zoom dating and stuff like that one, because you couldn't meet up. And then started cooking a lot more and started to enjoy the cooking part of it, because, you had to do what you could. You couldn't always just keep going to the shops for what you need. So you had to plan, cook more, threw a few dishes online, threw a couple of bits like that one, and then started to mess around. Bought an air fryer, cheap air fryer, absolutely dirt cheap, and thought, let's try this one, and then boom.
It did just blow up. One
of the videos it did, I think, thinking back of it, putting, new potatoes you get in a tin.
Yeah.
Putting them in an air fryer and roasting them with a bit of herbs. And I woke up and I'm just like, hang on a minute, what's going on here? Why have I got this many notifications flicking through going on? And it's like, wow, that's gone a bit crazy, that. And the followers started to drop in then. And it just kind of gently grew, 10,000 followers. And I was like, right, 20,000. And then I was able to join... To be fair, I was able to join like their creator funds. So
over 10,000 followers, yeah.
And then it's just started to grow again, and it kept going. And then at some point, people were messaging me going, "You getting another recipe video out?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then it started posting daily, and then twice a day, and then it just absolutely takes over. And then when I look back now, I was just saying to Ben, I was like, it sticks in my mind because not November last year, the November before, I think. Where I was working, one of the directors had got wind of what I was doing and was just asking questions. I was like, oh yeah, I've got about 80,000 followers. And he was like, what? That's huge. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's just a few, isn't it? And then thinking about now, and that was on TikTok, I've got 320 now. I'm like, it's in a year and a half, it's gone boof. So yeah, after it took off and went mental, we started doing a bit of food reviews, started getting supermarket foods to kind of review, which people loved seeing as well. Yeah. Good, honest opinions, Did
the supermarkets reach out to you and stuff like that, or?
Not really, no. No, I kind of, some do. So, some will drop in and go like, Aldi do it quite well, actually. They said they do mystery hot cross buns at the moment. So,
seen it.
Yeah, they said to me, we've got a package, we're not going to tell you what's in it. Off you go. So they sent it, so I did that, but not massively. I just go for my own back and go, I think that is a great bit of food, or, we want to do some ready meal reviews because some people don't know if they're going to be any good or not because they're a bit cheap, and we just hit them online and it just goes crazy.
I've seen the curry ones you did with from Lidl, Asda, Iceland and all that. But people, this is what I like about it, because there's people out there who might not have a lot of money to feed their families, and we're in a society now where seeing them type of videos, because everyone has a phone.
Yeah.
So by seeing so a mum could have 3 kids or whatever, and she hasn't really got much money or something, and you put one of your videos on, like you've just said there, could be new potatoes in a tin with a little bit of what's her name, and with a little bit of meat or whatever, and then there you go, she's feeding the
exactly.
And for me, that's just your videos is it helps a lot of people, but it also. It's like recipes that people would never think of, like the curries I was just been saying about there. And I think what you said, I think you had a question of someone where someone had said to you, what, you surely you and your don't eat all that food because you could be, but you freeze it, is that right?
So if we get, so there's 2 things about that. The recipes that we do, we don't, they're not, some of them are, to be fair, some of them now are more tailored to go, I know that's going to do well. Yeah. I know the kids are going to like it when we eat it as well. So let's do that one and let's give it a try. But some of the other recipes, it's just normal people's cooking. So, you can get a lot of people online cooking who, they're all about the special boards. They're all about, place this on this, really pretentious stuff. Nobody really cooks like that. The average person doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't. I can't cook
It's all
like
for
that.
Insta, all that,
Yeah.
the design and all that.
I
It's
spill it on the board.
You just want to
yeah.
bump it down, don't you?
I spill it on the board and put it on. Well, that looks rubbish now. You know what I mean? So we just try and do something different and just and think about how if you've got not much time. So some families haven't got much time.
Kids and all that as well.
Or they want to go, what's different? I want a takeaway, but I can't afford 40 quid on a takeaway. I know what they are, stuff a garlic bread. And that's kind of what they've taken from us. And there's a lot of questions come on there, a lot of comments going out. People do say like, oh, this is rubbish food. Anybody can cook this. Actually, anybody can, but not a lot of people can cook a lot of time. But some people out there just don't know how to cook. And it's not my intention to go, let's feed the world or anything like that, unfortunately. It would be great if that was my intention. But it's just people can do it and it's just a bit of fun and like get the kids involved as well.
But like you say there, people can see your videos and they are like, the content is good. And I'm not just saying that because you sat here, but like I just said to you before, I show him, it's like, oh, he goes, well, do it then. Do you know what I mean? And I think to myself, the air fryer, everyone uses an air fryer. I don't think people use ovens or whatever, not so much now. It's all air fryer, everything just gets lashed in the air fryer. But like you're saying, getting the family involved and, getting kids off the phones and stuff, off their iPads for half an hour or an kids love all that.
They do.
Do you know what I mean?
They do.
It's like...
Once a week in a moment, we started it recently, we go live, it's cooking on TikTok, we just pick a meal and go live. So Emily, the eldest, comes in and she comes and cooks with me live on TikTok. And it's great. She absolutely adores doing it. And she loves doing it. Yeah, because it's different. It's something different. And she gets to have a chat, bit of banter as well that she might not be able to get away with normally.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. And she just loves it and things like that. So, but then back onto the food about people, you're right, they always go, what do you do with all the leftover food? Surely you don't eat it. Yeah, we do. Or, we did Iceland curries and there was 12 curries to do. So we invited my wife's parents over. I'm like, you're going to come to it. And we all just tucked in. They took a few away. We froze a couple. We made a couple of dishes the next day out of it. Where possible, everything will get eaten. Unless it's really bad on the review.
Yeah. Have you had some really?
Yeah, you just got to be careful though. You can't go too down to town on the review going, this is dire.
In case you get what's named and stuff like that.
There's always a worry that somebody could come at, a company could come at you and go, try and, I don't know, defamation. I'm sure they won't, but it's also, if they ever want to work with us in the future and we've just sat there and just slagged the food off, you can't
want to work with you.
So, but nothing's actually been that inedible because it goes through a process anyway, doesn't it? People will taste test it in the factories that they're made and make sure it's at a certain level. So some things personally I think are awful, but other things, other people might love.
But that's what it's about though. It's a matter of opinion. Yeah. And like a lot of people today, it's great that you've got the platform and you've got that many people who are interested in what you're doing, and that's why we wanted to get you on, because it's something different that we've never seen before. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of food reviewers out there, don't get me wrong, and who were brilliant. Because you were so local to us, and I thought, we've got to get Stu on, we've got to, you know what I mean? And I think it was on TikTok, I think it was. And I said, do you fancy coming on? And you replied straight away, and you went, yeah, I'd love to. Juggling family life. Yeah, and I think you were just making that change from going full time to going to full time concept. You're doing this full time now, which is absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? You're doing something that you love. Do you know what I mean? And did you ever think you'd be doing something like that?
No, never. never at all. Honestly, it was the most bizarre thing ever. I'm 38 and there's plenty of people who are older than me doing stuff online, but I look back at it sometimes and go, hang on a minute, I'm 38 years old and I'm you call yourself a content creator, and I'm like, people ask, what's your job? Content creator. And they go, what? And there's a lot of people who don't get it either. The best comments I get all the time on my videos, go get a job. And I do sit there sometimes, and I don't always rise to it.
You don't bite.
Some do, but not that.
Yeah.
But I've got ways to deal with people who do that one of these days. But some of them sit there and go like, I don't think you realise that when you do become your own content creator, technically you become a director of your own company, because you have to do it you have to go through these things through the books. That's the way the world works. You then actually a lot of I wouldn't say I'm not earning millions. Jesus Christ, I'm driving Nissan, nothing like that. But I was able to make the switch because actually it's got to a point where I was earning just as much as I was earning the day job, and I'm going, well, I like my day job, I love doing this, and why would you not switch and do something you enjoy? And the flexibility around it, get to pick the kids up, we've got a baby, I get to look after him after the childminder from 3 o'clock most days, and the bond I built with him over the past month is gone. I'm looking at it, this was one of the best decisions I made just for this.
Yeah.
And you've still got bills to pay, you still got that one, so you have to work, and it is a job, but you know, people, there's a lot of people out there who don't understand the whole process. They think TikTokers or whatever you call them and stuff like that one, or kids dancing online to a video. They are, but...
And listen, that's what I wanted to speak to you about, because the internet and social media can be not a very nice place when you get trolls and stuff like that. I'm not saying you know you've had trolls, but
Oh, I do.
and listen, yeah, oh, okay, so I was very surprised. But you know, when you get people like who, go get a real job and whatever, and listen, and you're explaining, you know, this is a real job for you. You know, when if you're doing something that you enjoy, but also earning the same type of money on a job that you were already in, which you did enjoy doing, but the flexibility around
Absolutely.
this, and because you see, I see a lot of people on TikTok of an evening.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because obviously they've got a good following, they've got, you know, whatever the background is, where they could be like a DJ, or they could be selling products. At the end of the day, they're not hurting nobody.
No.
And I just find it outrageous that people can just really go, and you do see some people go to town on people, and the internet's good for something, social media is good for some things, and I've said it on many a podcast, it can be absolutely horrible.
It's brutal at times. I haven't had the brutality that some people have had.
Yeah.
But best advice I always get, I do bite sometimes, just because it depends on
You're
what
human, you're gonna.
You know, if I haven't had a coffee in the morning and stuff like that, but best thing to do is ignore them, because actually when these people are trolling online and when they're doing that one, every little bit of engagement on a post boosts your engagement levels. You get that engagement, negative, positive, doesn't matter, it boosts the levels up, because, you know, the internet's, the social media platforms do have a filter on it and stuff like that, but they're AI driven, and they're not, or most of them will be anyway, they're not there to see if it's negative or positive, that comment. They see a comment, and look,
it's interacting with that, with that post or whatever it is.
Comments can turn to dollars, and that for me is, you look at the trolls that hit hard in that one. There's people out there who push the trolls, people out there who go for it
because they know how to work it, basically,
and they'll make money from it. So, and then if I somebody trolling, all you're doing is lining other people's pockets with money if they're earning money on it. Literally, that's what they're doing. It's also whatever you put on the internet. And I mean, I do it as a job, so I'm not afraid of what I put on the internet, but whatever you put on the internet can be seen and will be seen and stays there. So you know, somebody's doing that, trolling somebody, giving them loads of jip on a post and stuff like that one. Yet they go to a job interview and somebody can just find that. And if they find that and say, is that the type of person I want working for a company that goes around doing that to other people?
Abusing people for no...
Yeah, it is abuse. You're not going to get a job. And companies look at that stuff.
Do you know what you see, like, on a lot of posts, or it could be hateful, you know, like, I've seen it where someone's passed comments about something, like a certain event that's happened, or a tragedy or something, and then the next thing, they find these people, and the internet is a weird, mad place where, you know, people turn into Sherlock Holmes, or, you know what I mean, and they go and find out where they work, where they live. The next thing, they've got no job. The missus has legged them. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Because they're thinking you're bringing shame to us as a family, or to your business, or your business. You know what I mean?
We had there's a couple of comments that popped up earlier, and to be fair, I read most comments that I get, because the phone goes bananas all the time. But you know, you read them and you get intrigued, and you can go in, and one particularly nasty comment, I ended up blocking him anyway, about appearances and what I look like and stuff like that one. Fine. So I went into his profile, and it was on Facebook, and I was like, I know where you work now, and there's an email address there for your work. What would you do if I emailed that, screenshotted this and go, is this the type of person you want working for you? Because you've got it plastered all over your Facebook. You've not hidden this. What would I... Didn't, but like that, I could have... But you could have done something.
You could have, and that's the thing. I know, and the thing is, though, you're still a human being who has feelings, and, you know, you have, you know, and this is what I don't get. You know, I understand if you're giving it, you got to give and take. If you're going to give it, you got to take it. Absolutely. That's how I was brought up. If you're big enough to give it, you've got to be prepared to take it. But when it's uncalled for, like you've just said there, you don't go onto someone's profile and just go, oh, look at your hair, or look at your this, or look at the clothes you're wearing. I just think to myself, are you really unhappy in your own life to obviously fucking say that? Or why would you even say that? And then, like you say, you could have easily just went, where some people, you see it all the time, you could just easily email that business and go, by the way, such and such working for you, you know, this, that, do you really want that person? And then the next thing, they've got no job and whatever, and you just think, because they don't think of the consequences. That's
it. And people could do it. But you'd be surprised. When like you said, turn into Sherlock Holmes, don't even need to be Sherlock Holmes. You literally just click on them and you're in, and you go in. I can see all the information about you right now because you've got it plastered over there, you know. But like I said, most of them, just ignore. Get a bit of, if people are doing it online and people are going to do this kind of stuff and they're worried about it, it sounds like you've got to have some thick skin about it.
Yeah.
You look at the person there, they're screaming on the internet, one comment on that one. And to be fair, when you get to a certain amount of followers in that one, I have a lot of followers who go at them back.
Because they're backing you up sort of
They
thing,
go,
yeah.
people go nuts at them and stuff like that. So all you have to do is you ignore it and it gets people going and gets to go.
Well, why have you took time out your day just to like pass a comment like that? And
if they did it in the street, what's going to happen?
Exactly.
They wouldn't because they're
behind a phone or they're behind an iPad or a laptop.
They don't know what you're going to do. Somebody gives that to you in the street.
You're going to say, what are you playing out there? But yeah, so you've gone full time with it. You're enjoying it. You know, making time and stuff like that. What's it like at home for you? You know, with like, you know, obviously, so you sort of make your time to be a full time food content creator.
Yeah, it's. I think you'd be surprised about how long these things can take to do so. Can anybody pick up a phone and put something on the internet? Absolutely. Can anybody, and you know, Ben, we'll test this one. Editing videos and making them to a certain level and following your niche and what you do takes time. So over the time we've developed the videos. Didn't even used to put my face on it. I used to do the food with my hands and stuff like that and started to put my face on it. And we've bought quite a few different bits of equipment, lots of lights, lots of stands, lots of, you know, upgraded the phone to make sure we got a really good quality phone and the camera on it to make sure it works. And then you almost do a format like you do with the podcast. There's a format that you follow through and you want it to be like that format. And when you start to get to it and you change from that format, you see those videos don't do as well and things like that one. So you have to spend a lot of time doing it. So day work is you know, we had the baby goes to the childminders, been 18 months old. My wife still works as well, although luckily she's very flexible. She can work from home a few days a week. But between us, it almost becomes like, you know, once he's there at 9 o'clock in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, you've got 6 hours to do a job.
Yeah.
And technically, but it will spill over. It does spill over into the evening. So some evenings I do go, right, I'm going to have to sit there and do some work tonight. But it's my own choice to do it. It's not being forced, not anything like that. So it kind of does. But my days at the moment, it's only been a month. My days are literally trawling for new food trends, seeing what's out there, seeing what's coming out. Beyond, you know, I was at Lidl last Saturday morning at 8 in the morning.
I see your
the
video.
Dubai chocolate.
I was like, I'm sure that's our Lidl. He's in the car park and our Lidl. I think it was at 20 past 8 or something last Saturday morning.
Pretty much. I've been in there, got it, done
Behind the counter for the chocolate, the Dubai chocolate.
Yeah. But did the video and then released it quick because you have to be one of the first to kind of do it and get out there. So that's a Saturday. So anyone doing a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 job wouldn't do that. But it's great.
It blows up though, Stu.
It does.
It's brilliant though. It's like, you know, your wife, obviously, because I've seen your wife on a couple of your posts and she's supportive. And that's the thing, you know, your missus is on board with it all because it's great. And like I've just said to you there before about, you know, these big franchise, like these big, your Asda's, your Tesco's, you know, your Lidl's, your Aldi's and all that, and Waitrose and M&S. It would be great if someone reached out and, you know, said, look, we want you to test our food and stuff like that. But obviously you get paid for it, you know what I mean? It's one of
we do get brand deals are where money is available on the Instagram and TikTok and that one. So it does. You know, I'm not saying we don't get loads, but we do have a few come through, which is great because that is what it's all about. Because let's say
networking and it sort of thing as well.
It's also I'm here to enjoy life and make some money and live.
But that's why you work.
Pay the bills. But you know so that'd be great if they could. It'd be great if they could reach out. But you know, the kind of daytime is nuts because you can pick it up and put it down. You can go. You know, you can get lost in editing videos. You can just go, I can't do anymore. Put that down. Let's go and do something else. Let's go and do this, do that. You know, you can, it sounds strange, but the house is as clean as it's ever been because you just get up and you go, right, I got 5 minutes, clean that. You know, keep yourself busy, but you can get to working for yourself. As you know, it can be absolutely chocker, 100 hours in a week, but then the next week you could be sat there going, I've got a bit of a break here. I can relax a little bit. So
yeah, and working for yourself, you just hit it on the head. It doesn't stop.
No,
you overthink.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And you're just thinking, have I done this? Have I done that? And I think, you know, with what you're doing, like you said there, Saturday morning, you're going and getting there. And it was great, the video. I was up early and I thought, oh, we are, where's it? That's our little one.
Yeah, well, you could tell they hadn't done much. I put a hat on because I had a shower and just fucking...
You had to ask behind the counter, and I was like...
Yeah, I was there and I was looking on my phone and going, where have you got this? She went, oh, behind the counter. I was like...
You could only have 2 of them, I think it was, wasn't it?
It's also... It's the new food trend. You've got to hit them hard and stuff like that. So,
but that's brilliant. I mean,
doing that as well in the weekdays. So the flexibility I've now got to do that is what has helped push it even better in this past month. So, doing a full-time job. Obviously, I was expected in the office 3 days a week, and you know, say something new comes out, they don't tell you much. They don't give you much notice. It's there the next morning. And also, if I'm in the office, I'm going, well, I can't do anything with this until I even go to the place and get it, which is going to run out by lunch by the time I get there. I then got to film, edit, do. I'm 2 days before I'm getting it out there. I'm behind everybody else now. And it doesn't do as well as a video. So now I can literally go, look at me watch and go, oh, it opens in 5 minutes, grab the keys and go. And I'm filming them done.
It's good that you can, you know, you're thinking outside the way. People just plonk, record, you do that. And it's what goes actually into it, like you said there. Even like being in your full-time job, how hard was that to like make was work supportive?
It was hard, really
was it hard or?
I would say that I was probably doing full-time job and then 3 to 4 hours each evening doing this part as well. So
you're doing the best part of like 60, 70 hours a week, whatever.
And full weekends, because everybody
if
we needed to go anywhere to do any filming or anything like that, one is always on the weekends. So that was... The weekends are full. It does take a toll. It takes a toll. It can take a toll on your family life, you know, and stuff like that.
Of course it does, yeah.
That's why we also wanted to, you know, we between me and my wife last year, we kind of went, right, this is going somewhere now. We've got an opportunity. I don't want to lose an opportunity, but I was also explaining at that point, you know, we're not, you know, it's not earning as much as I'm earning now, but I'm ploughing in a lot of hours here. When do we make the call? When do we go, enough's enough, let's go for this and take the opportunity? I'm glad I did.
It's scary.
Given notice and then coming on the last day, I was like, oh shit, I've got no income.
What was work saying to you when you told him what you're going to do?
They knew what I was doing, and I always said to them.
Were they supportive or did they?
My boss when I was working was great. He literally said, whatever time you need, just sort it out. Just if you do need to do stuff, just let me know and stuff like that one. They were supportive as well because they could see it. They, you know, at one point,
you all have social media and stuff.
I'm walking through the office going, oh, I saw what you had for tea last night. I saw that. And I'm like, you all following me now? Shit. But so everybody knew it was coming at some point. And people weren't surprised. And some people were surprised I hadn't done it earlier. But, you know, they were fine with it. And they understood as well. You know, sometimes I'd be in the office. I'm like, I've just been busy. Don't worry. I'll still get my work done and stuff like that. So, but and then, you know, just making the jump is tough decision to make and go for yourself. But it just flows well, and when you know it's right when you sit there and you go, I'm all right here, you know, it's not just about money, it's like I'm enjoying this and you know it's right.
You
know, because that worry's not there as well, you know. In a normal job, come Friday at 5 o'clock, you know, kind of stuff, you've done your work now, and you might sit there on Sunday afternoon and go, I didn't do this. You worry about the next day. Is this going to happen? Or, I've missed that deadline, I've done that.
You're anxious, you're worrying.
Exactly. Whereas now I'm just like, I'll do it in the morning. It's fine, and do it in the morning, it's fine, I'll just get up early and stuff. So
no, that's brilliant. But like you say, it's great to see. But what's the most overrated dish everyone seems to love, but you can't stand?
That's a tough one, that one. That's a tough one. I think a lot of the stuff but maybe can't stand is the wrong word. I cannot explain it for almost in one sense. There's some creators out there who do some real pretentious stuff, you know, and stuff that you're looking at it and you just can't kind of going, why is anybody going to cook that? You've got 52 ingredients in there. I've just bought it from Waitrose off, right? I can't afford it. I need a second one and I can't make it. It works for some people and they do really well with it. So, you know, I wouldn't knock another creative doing it, but I can't stand looking at it and I'm going, no, I just don't want to touch it. You know, so there's no real... A lot of dishes in particular and stuff like that one, but you know, because if anybody's seen what I'll eat anything, me. I don't mind anything.
Some of the stuff I've seen you eat, like what you've made, and then some of the stuff's like. But no, it's good because I love my food, as you can see. You know what I mean? But
I also understand as well with the social media when there is something that's overrated or big hype around it. There's a lot of people go, it's just a hype. Yeah, you know what, but life's too short to be like that. I think good on you. You know, I think some of the content creators out there, how they've done and they build, and then just like, do you know what? mate, well done, because you've gone with it, you've ran with it, and you've seen the opportunity, and now you're making a
And it
fortune.
blows up. There's a place I seen one on I don't know if it was Instagram or it was on TikTok, and it's a place in Ireland. I think it's in Dublin, and they have like mad. It's like a kebab place, and it's like a kebab in a Yorkshire, something mad it was. Oh, fucking people, the queue was out the door. You know what I mean? It's like, how could that? But you think, oh, I think I'd have a go at that. Like,
Yeah, well, you
know what I
would, wouldn't you?
But it's like people's like random stuff. Like you put together. I think it was like was it chips? It was the other day actually. It was like dirty loaded fries.
I think it was chicken and bacon loaded fries, wasn't it?
And it was like, and you just ate loads of cheese. Oh, I love when you put all the cheese on it and stuff like that. But people are thinking outside the box, like you're saying, don't knock them. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, and then someone might go, oh, I might have a go with that. Throw it in the air fryer and
exactly.
it's done. Well,
somebody's got tea there, haven't they? They've got it done. If you know, when you're looking in the fridge and you go like, what can I do here? I don't know what to make. And I used to do that all the time, and my wife keeps telling me, you should do some of them. Open the fridge, genuinely look what we got and try and knock a dish up for it. I'm like, we'll do some of them, but people are like that. They're going to go, oh, chicken, bacon, some fries, and the kids are starving here. What should I do? How long is this going to take? 20 minutes, right? Fucking great. And they're done, and the kids think they're amazing. You know what I mean? They go, kids love dirty food, as long as you're not eating it every day.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't matter.
Of course, it's like you say, just going in the fridge and like, and then you know you're putting it together, and like you say, you know, and as long as they're not eating it every day, and it's because you'd have a lot of this now, you know, with kids, you know, being obese and stuff like that, and you're thinking, but it's like you're saying, getting kids involved by all the kids have got social media, do you know what I mean? And they see your video. They start being like they can start doing things for themselves. They've seen your videos and they can take something from that, you know. And that must be a good feeling to think you've got that many followers now, where you're thinking, and some of them could be doing stuff like that because most kids now are just on their phones or on their iPads and stuff.
But if they're on the phones, they might as well have it on the side and helping somebody cook or do something
or making it themselves and putting it together. You know what I mean? It's like, which food trend annoys you the most?
Food trends. Again, it's a funny one. I don't think it's something that annoys me too much. I think it's a tough one to think about, that one. I think one of the things that does annoy me and is when some of the bigger chains and some of the bigger, not to say the supermarkets, because there's but some of the bigger chains jump on and do it. So Subway jumped on the hot cross bun thing, and I did a review on it, and I did the review on the hot cross bun thing, and I'm just like, they've just put it in, just did a basic cheese and bacon one, and you can buy a bit of a Subway hot cross bun. And I was a bit like, what annoyed me about that is that why are they not advertising that you can have your normal Subway in a hot cross bun? So Italian BMT, all the salad, Chipotle Southwest mayo in a hot cross bun. I'm there. I'm done. That's me. But I'm like, but all you did was just make a hot cross bun. I'm like, you put the effort in. If your social team or the team, the PR team,
such a big franchise, aren't they?
Get it done. I appreciate your man of the desk, but all you're doing is you're offering another bun in Subway and that one. And honestly, I can see it. I'm sitting there and go, if I was just on that team now, I'd be like, just offer it, just do it. Because how many people would give it a go?
It's people try things, don't they? And then they go, oh, that's not. Yeah. It's like anything, isn't it? You'll have a go with that, and you think, oh, that was all right.
Yeah. I mean,
and even though it might look a bit like your missus might go, oh, I wouldn't eat that. Oh, do you know what? It was lovely. You know what I mean?
So it could be nice. It could be the worst thing ever. You know what I mean?
But it's what you're saying there. It's mad, isn't it? Where people jump on things and they couldn't, because they're such a big franchise. They've got them to market it a lot better. Yeah. They've got the financial thing to do that. Where you come along and, you know what I mean, could be something in the air, you know what I mean, for you to do. And
well, exactly, and just
listen, he's available if you want to.
I know, yeah. If you got a few ideas or anything that one, or you know, some of our recipes in the freezer is absolutely fine. But yeah, so there's nothing that I don't think there's anything out there that really does bug me or anything like that one. But you know, because I'll try anything. I keep saying I'll eat and try anything as long as it's not got mushrooms in it. I don't care. Right. But even mushrooms, I'll eat now. I'll try.
Well, that's the next thing I was going to say to you. If there's one ingredient from kitchens, which one would you ban?
Mushrooms. I hate them. They're horrible.
I love mushrooms. I
think it's the texture and the taste. So you get the taste of the.
If it's dry, I mean, don't like the slop and lots of things, because like sometimes you can have them on your full English breakfast, on your brekkie and that. You've got to have mushrooms. I'm going to tell you what I'd ban, if I'm honest. Yeah. Black pudding.
See, I love it.
See, I always say to the lads and stuff in the garage and stuff as well, I say, when I'm ordering the sandwiches and that for them, and they go, oh yeah, can I have black pudding on it? And I'm like, you are messing. You've got to ban black pudding.
We had white pudding.
No, but I have heard people talk about it.
It's just as nice, that, even better. But yeah, no, I get what you mean. But everybody's different, aren't they?
Of course they are, yeah.
So, and that's the biggest thing about a lot of the stuff we do with the reviews. It's just my opinion, just what I think. And I am fair with mushrooms in the reviews. We did, it's not out, we haven't done it yet, but we did the Iceland's Chinese takeaway ones, and they had a chicken and mushroom dish on there. And I was sitting there and going, oh, no, I don't really want to eat this. But I'm like, right, go on, get a grip. Did it, ate it, and then I was like, I actually gave it an out of 10. I was like, that's actually really nice, and I can't stand mushrooms as long as I didn't eat that whole mushroom that was in there, because I was looking at it going, but it's just not, kind of stuff.
It's like, I'm like that with onions. I couldn't eat like raw onion, but like say for instance, there's onions in me curry. It's weird. I don't know why, like you're saying about mushrooms and stuff like that, but I just go, oh, you know what? But as long as it's not a raw bit of onion, I can eat it. But what's the biggest crime people commit when making a proper northern meal?
I think they don't either put enough cheese on it, or they don't even think it's got to be thick, stodgy, and just it's got to be fattening. You just they don't put them in balms enough. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Sly with the portion,
yeah, they just stuff like that. With if you're going to make a northern meal, put it in a balm. That'll make it as northern as possible, or stuff like that. Or bread to dip in with it. Sauces everywhere. Everybody loves sauce up north. Curry sauce in a chippy, gravy, whatever.
Barbecue,
anything. Loads of sauce. That's what we like. And salt and vinegar.
Have you? You know what? Funny you saying about like on a balm and that. It just come to me. Have you ever had a Wigan kebab?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Do you know what funny though?
I haven't pie on a balm.
I haven't. You see, with the food I eat, between us, I'm trying to eat a little bit healthier so we don't expand massively. But I should do my own. I should make my own Wigan kebabs on one of the videos.
When I said it to someone, they were like, "A Wigan kebab? What's one of them?" And I went, "It's a pie on a balm." I want you to put this to bed as well. You know when people say balm, batch, you always see like a little thing. We call it a balm, don't we?
Yeah, that's the one thing I answer to.
Like a chip balm, a chip batch, or a chip.
Somebody goes, I've got this garlic bread cob, and I have to
cob as well. That's what they use.
I have to say
cob. I'm like, what?
I'd say balm. I just have to poke them a little bit. It's a balm.
It's a balm, isn't it?
Everybody's got their own. Everywhere you go, it's something different. But yeah, chip balm all the way.
Chip balm. Well, it's definitely a chip
99p and chippy.
Yeah, that's a chippy. Yeah, that's
There's another thing that people don't get is in the Northwest, Chinese food in a chippy.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go outside the Northwest, people go, what, you get Chinese food from the fish and chip shop? Yeah, that's what we do. That's what you get, but they don't get it, do they?
People outside the Northwest, I don't think, but it's great when you go, oh, really, is that what you call it, or whatever? It's one of those, isn't it? But what's your go-to comfort food?
I like anything. For me, pizza. I love pizza. Absolutely love pizza. I could eat takeaway pizzas all the time.
I've seen a couple of your reviews with the pizzas and stuff like that. Some, from the...
Yeah, for me, if we're either that or a good Chinese takeaway. So if we get, because obviously we cook a lot, so we don't get to do these kind of things a lot. As in,
you do fakeaways as well, though, don't you?
We do sometimes, yeah. But more about, it's just, I don't know, you've been out on a Saturday night and you want to go the next day and you want a takeaway. And I'm like, I want a pizza, but I've got to make a video, I've got to do this or something like that. But yeah, a good old stuffed crust, not a Domino's, dirty kebab style pizza, doner meat on there, whatever. I'll just pile that on. I'll just eat that. Yeah. I love a good pizza.
So that's your comfort. That's your comfort food. Do you think Londoners understand what real gravy is?
No.
That's from Ben, our producer.
Not at all. Not at all. I'll hold my hands up. There's some of the gravies I've done on some of my videos are not thick enough. I know they're not. I've done the video, done it out there, and the comments are just gone, gravy's not thick, gravy's not thick. I was like, right, yeah, I know. I just ran out of gravy granules. But yeah, thick.
Do you people on there? Are they giving you a bit
Oh, yeah, they do. They always got that looks like dirty dishwater. I'm like, yeah, I know. I didn't wash my dishes in it. It's fine. But I get it. I hold my hands up and go, yeah, I balls that one up, but it doesn't matter. It's there now. It's poured over. I can't do much about that. But yeah, thick gravy. It's got to, I think sometimes you've got to be able to spoon the gravy in lumps out sometimes. Not lumpy gravy, but jelly dished on the top. So, yeah.
No, it's like, but going back to the fakeaways and stuff like that, like you're saying, some people can't afford to have like a takeaway. When you've done quite a few, haven't you? You know what I mean? What are the ones that stand out for you? Like you say, you could have a family of 4 or 5 and, money a bit tight. So, some of them that you've done, what ones stick out for you and what are really popular?
I like some of the ones you do, the more complex ones. So if you're going to do something like a crispy chili beef, and as a fake away. It's a lot of work and a lot of effort for somebody to do, having to get the egg, the flour, etc. And it's great for people who've got the confidence to do that one, but some people don't always have the confidence to do that and are unsure whether it's going to turn out right or not. And you know, and you know, for me, by the way, if you are cooking and you're doing something, you're not sure how it's going to turn out, doesn't matter. Some of the food I cook comes out crap, but we still eat it, and you know what, we enjoy it. You know, so that's what it's about.
It's real content though, Stu, innit? So you're not like, oh, well, edit it there and it's always perfect.
Yeah.
It's real, you know what I mean?
We did a toad in the hole for breakfast the other day, so we just did that, and the Yorkshire didn't rise, and and I just said on the video, it's not come out perfect, but it's still tasty. And we did a little video afterwards to people say, like, it doesn't matter. Even if you get it wrong, just eat it anyway, because it's food. But best fake ways to do is the wrap pizzas. People love the wrap pizzas. You can get a decent pizza. You can go Asda and get, you know, create your own pizza for a decent price and stuff like that one. But for the fake away style, where you get rid of that base, and if people are trying to go, I want something, I know it's got to be a bit healthier. You've got it there. Have a bit of fun with it, put your own toppings on, and it just works. But some of the proper fakeaways, you know, with a lot of effort in there, they don't work in my content, and that's fine. That's just what it is, you know. But I think people are bothered about the fakeaways and they fixate on not having a takeaway. And do you know what? You can have a takeaway if you obviously if you can afford it, but you can have one once a week, once every 2 weeks. It's not going to kill you. Having it every day is what's going to kill you.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So, you know, but in the meantime, have some fun with the food as well. Get online, look at a recipe and go, that's a sweet and sour chicken recipe. I'll give it a go. It's going to come out crap. It will. The first time you do it, it's going to be awful, but it doesn't matter. You've still tried it and you have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah. Have you had any, like you say, other content like creators or businesses who want you to come along and review their menu or whatever, because obviously you are popular online now, do you know what I mean?
We started doing a few, so we took it on our own back to go to a few places. So if we were going
Did you approach them, should I say? Or?
Not always. No, we did if we're going out somewhere for something to eat, so if we're going out with the family and just go, right, we want to go out for breakfast one day, we go and we film when we're there anyway, just because it's content, and you know, people will look at you, oh, what are you doing there? You could talk.
Do you make them aware? Obviously, you're going to be filming and stuff. Or?
No, not really. I think people are used to it. People are used to phones everywhere. So
yeah.
We do get businesses approach us now and go, could you come and do a review? And if it fits with what we do, then absolutely. And if it's local as well, because I think, you know, the local ones for me are more important than that. So I'm saying local as in not just Runcorn, but Widnes, Warrington, kind of, you know, cities, they pay for themselves kind of stuff. They're busy, they'll do their own things in that one, but we'll come and review them anyway. But you know, the local ones, we do like to do that because they're small businesses, and usually if they're owned by, like, you know, say you own a takeaway, you're like, it's just one takeaway out of 10, but I pulled my heart and soul into this one. Our best dish is this one and stuff like that. I'll be there. You do that.
But you know what though, Stu, I was going to say that it's helping. You're helping somebody out because they might not have a platform as big as yours where you put that content out and you're giving it honest. You know, you could have that. You know, they give you banquets, whatever. You, your wife, and the kids try it. You can give it a 8 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. You know. As long as it's not a mushroom chow mein or something like that, but you know, something like that just blow. You know, it's helping other people, and I think in today's like society and stuff, it's like a lot of people don't want to help people where you don't want people to do better than them, and I think where they'll let, you know what I mean. You're helping someone there who'll go, oh yeah, I'll review this for you. The next thing. You're getting thank you so much for that. Our orders, that meal at you, what's the name? It's just blew up or whatever, you know what I mean?
The thing we do as well is when we go, we'll pick the stuff we know we like. Yeah. So there's no point in getting it sounds strange. If you're going to do an honest review, some places you could go could be really terrible and stuff like that one. And you know, when somebody's poured their heart and soul into it, especially open, you
can't break their heart.
But obviously as well, I'll pick something that I do like. So if I'm going out for brunch, I will pick a full English because everybody loves a full English and stuff like that one. And I'll give an honest review. That egg wasn't great, but the sausages were great. And that's what people have to. Because what I think is a great fried egg is somebody else's worst nightmare. I like mine runny.
I like mine runny as well.
I like to cut them and it pour everywhere.
Yolk everywhere.
And other people are like, kind of stuff. So they prefer it if it wasn't. So, you know, we do, it's difficult with the reviews because obviously we want to do it for the business, but we also want to give an honest one. It's something we're learning as we go. So when we're going to do the reviews, we're learning how it all kind of flows as well. So my wife comes with me all the time. She's the one who films all the time. So we're just, literally like, and when we're doing it, we're learning about it, going, oh, you know what, the last review we did, we didn't mention about this, or take a little look around the place and stuff like that. So, but a lot of the stuff we do is off our own back. So we'll go to places that we think look cool, or cool. I sound like a kid,
No, but
you know what I mean? Like,
no, but that's good
or the
though.
food looks good, and I know it'll make good content. So go and try it. There is places we've been where I've gone off our own backs and gone, that is terrible. And unfortunately it is, because you've got to be honest at times as well if it is really bad, because people will come at you and go, you said this was great and stuff like that. People presume you get paid for reviews.
Yeah.
Like, you literally don't get paid for them. We go and do them.
It's just off your own back as well, your own time, and looking at it, you're giving an honest opinion. But on the flip side, these big restaurants or whatever, because nowadays a lot of things is on social, a lot of things are played out on social media. So if these big franchises, like I said before, want to reach out and obviously come for the, your honest opinion, and you're available, you'll certainly go and do it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Doing this full time as well means I can travel. I can go in the days. I can go when it's quieter, because obviously filming, Ben will know, you're having too much noise around. It's terrible. we did one the other day, and there's a group of ladies in there, obviously with young babies, and we've got a young baby as well in that one, and it was noisy in there. And you know what, there was no issue with that one, because I just waited till there's a bit of a quiet time to kind of do the talking and stuff for that one. But when I'm editing the videos now, look, you can hear the bits and pieces. I mean, you should see some of the outtakes I do. Is it on the videos? But I'm sat there and I'm looking at it, and I'm even just in front of my own camera at home, and you're going, and you stumble out of a load of rubbish, and you just get right and stuff like that. But yeah, it is what it is. It's life as well, isn't it? Everybody's around doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And, you're not going to go to an empty restaurant, but
of course, no, that's it. Like you say, the outtakes is a funny one, because the amount of times he just laughs, and I'm trying to get something right or whatever, and I've got to do it about 2 or 3 times. He just ends up laughing, and you know what I mean?
Because you're doing it again and again and again, it gets worse and worse.
I know, and you're just like, I've got to get my head around this here. But like you say, it's good that you're out and about, and you're starting to do like that, them type of, restaurant reviews and stuff like that, and hopefully it can take off for you, you know what I mean?
I'll always do it, because obviously, like I said, it's about local stuff. It's great to help local people in that one. It also helps me. There's never a selfless act, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But if we can work together and we all get a little bit of dollar from it, then you get more business, I earn some video views. Happy days. That's what life's about. We're helping each other. Everybody's got to have their bit of the pie, haven't they?
And that is the problem. Loads want the pie for themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
But when there's so much pie out there for everyone, like you've just said there, you can come and do a review for that business. Hopefully it builds business for you. It pushes.
Absolutely.
And then yourself gets some good, content. It goes on your platforms. It builds, yourself up and stuff like that. But also, it's just, you're helping one another. That's what I don't get my head around. Like what I said before, I made the comment before about some people don't want to see others do it. And what I meant by that was like, you can go and help somebody where, you're not doing no harm, but they don't want to see you do, and you think, hang on, we're going to help this business, hopefully to, they put the heart and soul to their own business, they're independent, they're not a big, massive franchise. And you know what it's like yourself when you work for yourself, the time, you never switch off.
No.
And that one video you do for that business could just transform that business.
Absolutely.
And you can go, you know what? You've got free food for life, you know what I mean? It's whatever, you know what I mean?
It could be, and I think as well, we, as content creators, you get paid off video views.
Yeah.
You're not talking, again, it's another preconception people have. It is not million. You've got to have millions of followers to make millions. But it's called the creator economy. So
this is on TikTok, isn't it?
And Facebook as well. Facebook, you reach a certain point. Instagram doesn't pay for video views in the UK yet, but it's such a big platform and so important, Instagram, that the quality content that goes in there can lead you to brand deals. And that's where the brand deals want to see you on there, because TikTok is what it is, but Instagram's still one of the top ones out there. But I don't make any money off Instagram whatsoever, apart from anything that comes potentially my way as a good brand deal. Because you want to see. But it's called the creator economy in the UK. It's the money that's flowing through what content creators do. In the UK alone, it's worth £1.43 billion. Worldwide, this was, I think off the top of my head, this is the figures I looked at a few months ago. Worldwide, it's £220 billion or dollars. That's what it's worth to somebody. Now, if for me, I'll have a crumb of that. That's great, because £1 billion flowing through the creator economy, it means that there is money there for everybody to kind of enjoy and do as well. It it is worth doing it. And like I said, when you build up to a certain point, you get it. So, but yeah, I think we're back onto that. It's helping each other out. I can do a review on something, and it's when you get to a certain amount of following, people do listen to what you say and stuff like that. But if it helps a small business, great.
That's brilliant.
It's not what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for my own self, but if it goes hand in hand in helping others, I can't.
But Stu, that's good that you like that, you know what I mean? Where some people just, oh yeah, that, you know, but look, and you want to help local businesses, and look, you know, if there's other businesses that are far, you know, look, you know, they just got to give you a follow and see what you're about, and you know, I'm sure I'm sure you will. A few people will drop in your inbox, hopefully, when this goes out, and fingers crossed they do. You know what I mean?
And when it comes to inbox, honestly, if people mess with me, I try and get back to everybody. I literally try and read every message and get back to them.
It must be hard, though.
It is hard work. It is hard work. So you get a lot, but you know, and sometimes I will say to people, can you just pop? I do have a management company who support me with the brand deals and stuff like that one, because that's just, I don't know, I have the network to kind of speak to these big companies. I don't know who I'm speaking to, kind of stuff. So they do that one. They pick it up for me and help out and stuff like that as well. So, you know.
That's brilliant. That's just to where you're at. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You've got like people looking after that for you, because like you say, it's so hard to try and maintain, try and juggle everything, what you're doing, your content, your editing, because you don't do it all yourself, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's
don't have anyone else doing it, and we sell. We've done our own little products as well. So we're selling. We call them
flavour pots, in it.
It's I used to get fed up of buying all the different herbs and spices, and each time having to make some up to just get the kind of flavours I wanted. So I started doing some of these, and I popped on social media with them, and people started, where can I get them? Where can I get them? I was like, oh well, I'll make them myself, and I thought, okay, let's just start doing. So we started selling them, and we sold loads, but I still hand make them myself. So I still make all the pots. I go to the post office with a bag, go and post them all myself. It's not something that like, oh, a big company's doing it for me. You know, you've got to graft to get there.
That's what I'm saying. It's all from scratch. It's all yourself. It's all like, I went on the other day, actually, I seen your pots. It was all different. What flavours? How many flavours?
It's about 12 flavours at the moment. We want to do a couple more when I get some time to kind of really drill down. But yeah, you get everything. It's just there's like a basic chili flavour through to, we made our own kebab flavour, which can go in all sorts of different kebabs. And look, can you get these seasonings in the shops? Absolutely you can, but not my homemade recipes. And that's the difference with them is, you know, and
try them, see what you think, and
just give them a go. Yeah. You get a good amount of meals out of them, and we use them all the time in the cooking. And some are spicy, some are not spicy. A steak, a chicken, an Italian flavour pot, all the stuff I use in my recipes are on there. And look, I've got a mouth to feed. I want to make a business about it, but at the same time, it's also, you know, it's put me in all the
brilliant. It's brilliant that you're doing that. And like I said to you about even your merch, like I know that's something that might possibly come, you know, later on and stuff like that. But like your merch, like your cooking.
We've got the aprons. I'm working on getting. I'm hopefully going to be able to, because people are asking the other day about selling them. Can they buy them? So hopefully soon we'll get some up there. Again, it's not a case of you just go and pick them off the shelf and then they're good to go and stuff like that. Or phone somebody, go get me aprons, and they do it. I've got to find a company that can help me with it. I've got to sign up with them. I've got to discuss terms with them. You've got to then place an order. You've got to work out all your costings on them so you can make a couple of quid off them, because that's what we're all about. You've got to make it.
Of course, you have.
Everybody's make their little bit. You know, we're not making an apron selling at 15 quid that I've gone out, procured, got all the different details on there. I'm not going to make a couple of quid on, but I'm still going to make a bit of the pie. Otherwise, what's the point?
Of course, yeah.
But all that goes in behind the scenes. You don't have, you know, I think a lot of people think that content creators just pick up the phone and go, get me aprons and you're done.
It doesn't work
no,
like
it
that.
Doesn't. It never does. Some of them do. Some of them probably have. Some of them can
click the fingers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But, you know, all the graft goes into it. So, but, I mean, I always say, I think for other people, if somebody wants to, I always like to give it advice. Somebody wants to give it a go and get out there and start putting the stuff on there. You're not gonna be, takes years.
It takes time.
It takes time. You've got to post regularly. You've got to put the thought and the graft in it. People want to put a video out there and go, oh, it's not blowing up. It's not working. How do your videos go? But because I spent months of 200 views, whether I was going to jack it in or not, or can't be bothered or stuff like that one. Go and, you know, and doing a logo, go and spend 10 quid on Canva to get the, you know, for example, to get the good logo working for you, that you've got the right kind of tools in the kit. It's not expensive to do, but people, they don't.
You think you can just do it and it just takes off, and it's like anything. It's like us with the podcast. We're still learning. We're still doing little bits and stuff. It takes time, and we'd love to be like, you know, you know, we're just in our own lane. We're just learning,
Exactly.
and we enjoy doing what we're doing, and people just think you click your fingers and you can do this and you can do that, and it's hard. You know, we enjoy doing. It's like you enjoy doing your videos.
Yeah.
Where we love it. We love doing this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's, you know, we get to meet, you know, real people with real stories.
I've seen some. That's what I was saying to you. I was like, you know, I'm coming on. I was like, sure, I'm sitting there. You know, so like,
Why do you want me on the podcast? You said to me.
Yeah,
Why do you want mine? Because you're real, and you know, people love food.
Yeah.
And I just thought it's a different podcast where we don't have just one specific topic,
No, of
where it
course.
could be such and such about crime or you know, with drugs or alcohol or, you know, serious
I
crime.
can't remember the
and stuff.
fella's name, and you'll probably mind him, but I've watched a few where I was sat there and I was like, I'm not watching a lot because I was fascinated to about the I think it was underground crime in Liverpool. I can't remember the guy's name.
Was it John Burton, was it?
It could have been, yeah. And literally, I'm watching it, going like, and that's why I said, "Are you sure? Hang on a minute, I'm not. You know, I'm just a normal guy here who's cooking in front of a camera, and this guy's like got like, you know, nearly been killed twice." I'm like, "Oh no,
Yeah,
it was nuts." But you know, there are, but it is real people, and that's real. It's stuff you don't see around, and
Yeah.
everybody's got a. I would say, like I said before at the start about hospitality, you put on a show, you put a theatre, and the persona that you might see him in the camera can make people automatically think he's this, he's that, he's this. Ultimately, I still sit there, I get things wrong. I still have to sit there and say to Mrs., "Oh God, what am I even doing here?"
Or you might not even feel like getting in front of the camera. Like you've had a crap day, say for instance, you know, you're up the wall with the kids or whatever, and then you made time to put the camera.
You shattered the baby's been up, and I'm like, I'm looking there and I'm going, I've got a live cook in an hour, and I'm looking, I'm like, I'm saying to Emily, who does it, I'm like, right, game face, let's go, bang, and you gotta go for it, because so hopefully, you know, people don't necessarily always see the real person who's behind the camera, and that's what this podcast is about, is seeing the real people.
It's real, and people want to know the backstory of you and how it, and you're being honest, because like you said there, you know, it takes time for these things to happen. Do you know what I mean? We've been going 2 years. Do you know what I mean? We're still learning. We're still, you know, finding out what we could do better, because we're not perfect. Do you know what I mean? And like you said there, getting a logo, getting this, getting the right name or whatever it is that you're doing. But you've just got to be consistent. Just
100%.
And like you're saying, posting, you know.
Doesn't have to be daily.
Yeah.
I post 2-3 times a day because I'm at that point where I got to. People are expecting it, you know, but some people, they post one and then they don't post another 3 months and they wonder why it's not building. So you know.
Anyone who's looking to do
Anyone who's
content,
looking to do it.
yeah.
Just film a bit, do a bit of editing, a couple of times a week, keep it going, make sure you keep going with it. If you don't keep going, it won't go anywhere. But your first 100, 150 videos on TikTok, you're not going to get any views. You might get lucky. You might.
One might just blow up.
Absolutely. But the first 100, you're going to get 200-300 views. But then you'll slowly see your followers grow. And then before you know it, you've got 500 followers and you've got regular people commenting, and then it starts to roll. But anybody who's reached a point where they're able to do what I'm doing, going full time with it, you look at some of the ones I know or speak to in that one, some of the content creators out there, and they're like, we've been doing this for 7 years, and you're like, wow, 7 years while they had a full-time job, constantly doing it, because it will breach something at some point. And if you have a niche, always have a niche. So if I go out the lane, as you said, if I go out my lane and I want to do some travel stuff and we're going to test it, but I know it won't do well to start with, because every platform will go, what are you doing? Instagram will be going, go away, you're not a travel blogger, I'm not putting out there, you do food. But you've got to have a niche. So if your niche is dancing, not that you dance on there, but if your niche was a dancing podcast, stick with it, because it will be a niche, and then that's how they kind of, that's how they.
But it's good though, like you've got plans, and like, you know, you're just saying there, like when you go on a family holiday, you could go to Tenerife or somewhere like that. I know there's like restaurants over there. You with your you know, you go in for a family meal, you know, and stuff like that.
We're going away in a couple of weeks. We're going down to the caravan, not a caravan. We're going down to like Whole Seasons places, no problem. And obviously I've got to work. I can't just. It's not a holiday. I don't get paid unless I work now. So I was like, we're going to do a little bit of a series of cooking in the caravan. What can you do to cook? What can you cook? Because people
families go in caravans,
but they don't cook because they go, I can't cook in that oven. There's no things, there's no tools. We're going to do a few. We're going to go out as well, but we're going to literally cook a few meals in a caravan and film while we're in there, just to see how it goes. Because why not? You know, stuff like that. So we'll it's little things like that.
You've got loads of stuff, but you know, really good ideas, and it, like, again, it's real. It's real because, like you say, it's not. When I remember caravan holidays as a kid, and you're like, oh, you're all in the caravan, you're all cooped up and all that, you're all stinking of chip fat or whatever, and you know, it's one of those. But they're like, you're doing it in the caravan because sometimes when you go on caravan holidays, you're not going to eat out every night. It's just if you're on a budget and all that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm
saying? Used to be able to eat out every night. Now, when you go into the bars and clubs, you're talking £7-8 a pint. You know what I mean? And you're like, so people will have to cook when they go away, and the more expensive it gets, the more people won't do it because, you know, you're going on, it might cost you £500 for the caravan, but you've got to spend another grand on food and drink. We don't because, and that's what, again, it's just one of the things we know we'll do well. We'll give it a go and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just a bit of fun.
But that's it, isn't it? But is there a posh version of a Northern classic that does your head in?
I'm wondering whether people do things like
Bangers and mashes, what's the name of it?
I was like thinking more like battered sausage. So people doing posh battered sausages and stuff like that one, or no.
I don't think down south. Do they have battered sausage down south? Do you reckon?
No,
What do you reckon?
Savoys, don't they? Savoys, these smoky sausages. Sometimes they have down there usually, but even people trying to do something like that, posh. It's no point. It's just a dirty. You know, we don't like. It's a beef sausage in there. You need something. No, put the beef sausage in and just fucking batter it. Little things like that. But yeah, you know, I think is enough. One of the benefits of doing a posh version or a quirky version of a classic is people love it because, you know, it's something
It's your own
different.
spin on it, isn't it?
Yeah, you think about pies around. You used to meat and potato pie, kidney, steak and kidney. That's about all you got. Or cheese and onion. Now
Balsy, you like?
Yeah, I put full Englishes in some of the pies. Are making people are making a fortune of
Full English pies?
Yeah, they're making a fortune of all sorts of different stuff in pies. A doner kebab pie somebody made, and it's gone mental. So.
I seen your jack and potato full English. That was
yeah, that was something different.
Full English jack and potato. I showed him, and she went, "Yeah, you dirty." You know
No, it's
what I mean?
good. It's good, but you know what? I mean, my missus only had bacon on hers and like and stuff. I stacked it with black pudding and eggs and everything.
Oh, black pudding. Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing. If somebody's done it right, if they're going to go too posh with it and stuff like that one, you just, you know, I think again, it's that pretentiousness. I put things on a board, but stop putting them on those deconstructed fish and chips where you got raw fish and a potato, you know, kind of stuff. That's the stuff that annoys me. You don't need deconstructed stuff. Just do it right and
do it right. Yeah. Is there any food that the South do better than the North? I know I've said about the South and the North divide, but you know,
it might be controversial, but I think there is more. And when you say South, I'm thinking more along the coast. The seafood restaurants down on the South Coast are amazing. We like fish. We like fish and chips and all stuff like that one. And there is some northern towns where there'll be a lot more decent fish and seafood restaurants. But on the coast down south, I think they do it better because it's just they get the overspill from London going a lot of places, and people who are there are. In regards to food trends and things like that, London is 10 years ahead of a lot of other cities, and that's just the way it is. Manchester and Liverpool are really catching up at the moment on what goes on, but some of the things I used to see in London 10 years ago are now
coming to light up here.
Yeah, so I think when they've had that and they've kind of had a overspill, so it's not far for them to travel, the restaurants and the places down there have catered to that niche and catered to their tastes. So I think they do seafood really well. I mean, we don't have any fish. We've got fishmonger in Runcorn anymore? Don't think we have.
We used to have like a fish fan and that, didn't we?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
But like, getting a crab. If we wanted a whole crab, with some crab meat, nobody eats crab anymore. And we export more.
Crab sticks, I remember as a kid, crab sticks.
They're not even crab, are they? But we
get them down, you get out the wrapper, and get stuffed, you know what I mean, outside.
We as a country, we export more crabs than we eat. So we export to China more crabs than we eat in this country. We eat about 10% of the crabs they catch. Everything, I might be wrong, and people will probably comment and
jump on and go, we are.
But you know that we don't eat enough. Whereas on the kind of more the coastal areas, and maybe more on the southern coastal areas, people are more used to eating that one. The nearest place I can think of fishmonger is Warrington Market. They've got a fishmonger in there, and they have got decent stuff.
You used to have one at the shopping city, if you remember.
I think they did.
They did by Tesco. I'm sure they cockles. I used to love cockles. Yeah. In vinegar. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? They used to have one, I remember, up there.
But we don't eat, I don't think we eat enough. We're a coastal country. Literally, it's all around us, but we don't have enough seafood or we not eat enough. A lot of people are put off by tuna. You know, and it's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of people are, yeah.
You know,
I love tuna.
Kids, I've got a tuna pasta bake ready when I get home that I filmed before I came out, but it puzzles me. People who don't like tuna, you're like, it's tuna. It's not even a weird fish.
I'm going to put something to you now.
Go on.
Have you ever had tuna on toast?
No, but I've had tuna on a pizza. But
right, tuna on toast, right? It's like a little supper that I always
Is it?
have with me
That's
kids.
it.
My kids are like 23 and 29 now. I know people are going to go, tuna on toast. Honest to God, try tuna on toast. It is
What I'll
absolutely...
do is I'll do a video on it, but after the podcast has come out, so that you can see if I've done it. Yeah.
And you'll go like that. Oh, it tastes
No,
brilliant.
I
Now,
think it'd be
tuna on
nice.
toast.
Is it tuna mayo or just tuna straight?
You can have... My son used to have tuna mayo, and we used to have a little bit of vinegar in
Yeah,
it.
no,
Right,
every time.
Right,
Every
and
time.
then you'd mix it. My son would have tuna and mayonnaise with it on toast, and me, my daughter and my wife, I'd have... no, my daughter would have tuna mayonnaise with our Sam, and then we'd have tuna with a little bit of vinegar. It sounds weird.
No,
Honest to God, unbelievable
I put
supper.
vinegar in all the tuna. What about sweet corn?
Not
controversial.
on toast.
How many people hate sweet
I
corn?
know,
It's nuts.
it's crazy, isn't it?
But yeah, tuna on toast, I'll try that one.
Try that one. What's your stance on chips and gravy? Essential or travesty?
Essential. And cheese. Chips, cheese and gravy.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's one of I
Yeah.
love putting because when you put the cheese on top of the chips and pour the hot gravy on, it melts the cheese. It's ace.
Yeah.
And loads of vinegar as well.
Yeah, loads of vinegar, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not a travesty,
No,
it's definitely, it's essential. With
I think it's more up there than chips and curry sauce.
do you
Chips and
reckon?
gravy, yeah.
There's a lot of people who probably disagree with that, but chips and gravy...
It's best thing ever.
Yeah, definitely. If you had to sum up Northern food in 3 words, what would they be?
Recipes, reviews, being a dad. That's what I am.
Yeah.
So
No, that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Family life today, what's that like? How's that been? You know, how is it to now?
it's doing this full time has opened up a whole world of family life that I've in the past couple of years I've just not had we haven't had the time to do properly together. So you know, it's much more I don't know, it's much more fun around it now because there's less of the stress around of having to do 2 jobs and less of things going on there. What's fun about it as well is the kids are getting really involved in it as well. And that for me is really key because when they enjoy it, and you know, we're always going, we book to go to festivals this year, food festivals and that one, and of course we go with them because we're going to get Grumpy Northern Foodie hoodies, we're going to kit them out in it, and they love it, honestly. They absolutely adore coming to all these things, and they had
part of it though, Stu.
yeah, they
you know what
are,
I mean?
and they started to eat so much more as well and try loads of new things. So
when kids sometimes are just like, they like chicken nuggets.
That's it.
Or they like chips and gravy. That's it. But they're trying a variety of it.
Absolutely.
You know what? I think more kids need to, you know, like stuff like that. And you're helping, you know, do that, you know, with on social media and stuff like that.
I think my wife's really happy now as well that, you know, I'm not as busy and chocker. So I'm sure she'll get annoyed in a couple of weeks when I'm around too much, and she's going, fuck off now, really. Go out for a bit. But, you know, my wife's my biggest fan. She's the one that when it's been really tough at times and I'm posting videos and going, it's going nowhere. It's really not.
Support you a bit, really.
She's gone, keep going. She's the one who said to me, you need to do this full time. I was umming and ahhing going, yeah, but I've got a stable job, stable income. It makes me nervous. And she's like, you got to go for it. And we did. And
that's the thing, when you've got your missus, and I think when you've got your missus right behind you, when it could be one of them, oh, we don't know about that. Look, we've got bills, this and that and the other. But when you've got your missus fully supporting you, I think there's no looking back, and you know, you've made the right decision. And it's just another thing I want to touch on is like, you're getting noticed everywhere. Like a lot of times when you go out now, it's like
anybody from Runcorn will know the city. I walked up the city the other day and I was going to get a birthday balloon for Oliver, who's 8. Literally to come there, and someone's like, "Oi, Grumpy!" I'm like, "Oh shit!" And they went, "What are you reviewing today?" I'm like,
shouted all over the shop.
But like from distance, I'm like, "Oh my god!" And then another one in Iceland. I was picking up the takeaway stuff from the Iceland in the city, and somebody's like literally. She literally walks past and goes, Mr. TikTok, and I'm like, but the kids find it hilarious because they're looking at me and they're going like, I'm like, yeah, I know, this is what it's like. And some of when Emily in school,
do you get the parents at the school and that, like?
Well, yeah, the parents at school, most of the parents at the primary school know me, if you know what I mean, because obviously my wife Claire's talked about me in that one, but like Emily at school, she's in year 8 at the moment, and like one of the year 10 boys came on, Dad's the guy who's famous on Facebook, isn't he? And stuff like that. And she's like, I don't know what to do here. Yeah. Stuff. So, but we can't really go in many places now without somebody. You can feel somebody's eyes burning, looking like, and then they go, or they'll message me afterwards and go, I saw you in Lidl car park doing a video. I'm like, said hello. I'm easy going. Say hello, have a chat. I'm not bothered.
But it's good that you've got like, and it's all good though, Stu. Let's be honest. It's you know, and you know, you're a normal fella. You know, you and it's good what you're doing, and you know,
It is weird though.
it's weird when you say, like you
people
said
are coming
me
to me and you're going like, I'm going like, I'm like looking at my husband. How did they know me or something? And like, you know, people message say, saw you and stuff like that. But the other side is when you look on the kind of the amount of followers you got and you look at people who follow you, so you can tell, you know, like verified accounts and tell you funny. I'm looking and going like, you know, like looking at who's following, I'm like, Ollie Murs has just followed me, and I'm like, what on earth is going on in this world, and stuff like that. And you're like, there's so many people, like, and celebrities who are out there, and they're in the public eye, and they're going like, look at them, like, I got 20,000 followers, and what the hell is going on? It's so weird.
But it's good that you've got like normal people, because they're just normal people, but they're good at what they do. Absolutely. But like you're saying, like the likes of Ollie Murs, or have you got any others like celebrity followers? That I'm not sure whether he followed or not, but he liked and reposted one of my videos in that one. Who's the other ones we've spotted today? John Barrowman, you know the guy? John Barrowman, the was he Canadian guy. That was in Doctor Who. That's why I remember him anyway, from David Tennant's Doctor Who. He followed. There's a couple of comedians that followed. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but it does pop up on his shows and stuff. Local comedians, like Liverpool comedians and stuff.
Ones who are on like big telly and you know, Comedy Central and stuff like that. I'm like,
but you know what though? You're doing something good. And listen, they all have a kitchen. You've all got to.
They all get home at 9 o'clock at night and go, I can't be arsed cooking. What have I got in it? Garlic bread.
Put Grumpy Northern Foodie on. Oh yeah, look, let's get that in the air.
Exactly. So you know, that's the bizarre thing. It's like, when people do recognise you and you see things like that one, I can't grasp my head around it. But
listen, and it's to where you're at, like you're saying, it's consistency. You've worked hard at it. You're doing something that you love. And it's great to see. We got invited on the BBC Radio Merseyside. We're doing reviews on mince pies, and it was only on Sunday afternoon. Lisa, who does the show, presents the show there, just got a message saying, want to come on the show and do it? I'm like, I'm walking in, it's a bit like, it's a studio, proper studio. I'm walking in there. Yeah. And I sat there, I'm like, Claire was there with me, and I was just like, we're in BBC Radio Studios. I know it sounds strange, but I'm like, it's just the weirdest, I can't get my head around it. And like, you go on the radio and people are messaging into her going like, oh, I do this with the cooking. And I'm like, oh crap, I need to answer that now. So I don't want to sound rude. And you go in, again, though, like a show, you walk through the door and you go, right, showtime and stuff like that. But it is strange. You know, I think with a lot of these things, just stay humble. Well, of course, enjoy it. Enjoy the fun with it though, but stay humble, enjoy it. But I think that for you will probably be the start of something, because what you're doing, you know, you're out there, you've got a great following. I think it'll be a matter of time where you'll be doing a lot of this in studios, and you'll be getting invites to certain places, and I think it's all good, and it's great to see. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's good, and you're such a humble guy. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't think this is just my honest opinion. I don't think you realise how big you actually are on social media. You know what I mean? And it's good to see someone who's local. It's good to see anyone who does well for themselves, but it's good that you're local. You're seeing someone in your local area who's just absolutely smashing it. You know what I mean? And you know, I think you're right there. It's dawning very slowly a little bit when you do go out, and I'm going, God, you know, and everybody goes out and they got that on. They're going, I'm so fucking tired, and I just want a coffee, or I just want this. And you're going, I got to be, you know, it sounds strange. Like my wife was saying the other day, it's like, I go on a night out with my mates. Don't get to see them often. Known them for years. When we go out, we go out. Like, out. And it's like 4 a.m, you know, sideways on a taxi. But it's little things like that. I've gone, I can't do that anymore, because people are starting to see you and stuff like that one. But you have to make a little lifestyle change, because it's like things like that. You go, hang on a minute, I've got to be careful here. But that kind of stuff slowly dawned on me. And like, but then I've always said to people, if they see me and they recognise me and they want to say hello, or they're not sure on that one, I go, oh my God, you'll see me, baby backpack on, pram full of Primark clothes. This Primark clothes, even get this clothes, you know, stuff like that one. And literally, we'll be out shopping. We're not doing anything else. We might get something to eat. You might see me messing around with the camera because it's become part of my hand now. But say hello. Honestly, say hello and have a chat. As long as you don't give me jip and you don't kick off at me, there'll be a different conversation. But just, we're easy people. You're just normal people. Exactly. What's in the pipeline for the Grumpy Northern Foodie? I want to do a few things. So, few avenues we want to do. I think we've got a couple of ones there. We definitely want to bring some sort of food offering out, food truck, potentially, or a spot somewhere or something like that one. We're probably a good year away from that one, but we're starting the process. We're having a look at it.
it's not cheap. Food trucks are, I looked at some of the prices, majority at the floor, I was like, right, I've got a lot more videos to make before we get there. But, you know, or maybe, like I said before, something in Runcorn itself, a small spot, bring some food to people, some of the food that we do.
Yeah.
And go from there. We also want to help, obviously we want to start, within being a content creator, what we get is we've gained a lot of expertise around what we want to do, so, and how to build and stuff like that one. There is a lot of big social media out there, agencies out there, which are great. They look after all the big clients, all the big companies and that one. The little people are often left behind and are often priced out of a market where they need to grow. So we want to we're looking at potentially doing our own small social media agency, starting local, looking after local businesses, talking to them, and you know, for a decent kind of value, to add that kind of added value to them, because social media for a lot of people, you're not us in particular, because we understand that they go in it and they don't want to deal with it, or they don't get it. It's too big.
Or it's another headache for them, which
exactly.
And some people aren't very techy or whatever.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean?
and you know, a lot of places can't afford a social media agency to kind of run things for them. We know that there is a small market out there for it, and again, we started small. We're just normal people. We want to see businesses do well. So things like that we're looking at. We want to bring out some merch, because why not? If you're gonna do these things, you might as well bring out some merch, some clothing. We're getting our aprons on for sale soon and stuff like that. So, but we're also going to see where the flow takes us, because we may find in 6 months and we might be in a completely different direction where we are. We might not be doing, you know, the recipes might not work, and we have to do food reviews. We might go down that route. There's so many options, but definitely some food offering is in the pipeline. We will get there at some point.
That's absolutely brilliant, and I just think it'll grow from strength to strength, if I'm honest. And you know what, Stu, it's been really great to have you on. Considering that you were like, oh, what are we going to speak? Why were people going to listen to me? And you know what? I've really enjoyed it, mate. It's been a cracker, and I just want to say thanks for sharing the good, the bad, and the ugly,
absolutely,
mate.
Pleasure, mate.
Thanks very much,
No
mate.
worries.
Cheers.